past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful laws and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku, Todoroki, Momo, Denki, Jiro, and Mineta, along with Ida. These 7 individuals are involved with the MLA. Mineta is acting as an undercover agent for the League of Villains, and so far, that has gone well. Now, Deku met with Mineta. He did then meet with Destro, and the two talked. Deku giving Destro the information about Mineta's city he's staying in, along with even the information they have on the Nomu and All for One. And he did also hand over the information about All Might. And this was something they were intrigued by. Now, Deku's loyalty was called into question. However, upon revealing to them that All Might has a weakness, it's been resolved. Deku's done more than enough. Now, it's only a matter of time for what they need to happen. Now, in this amount of time until, well, between now and then, this is what will happen. Ida, because he's so much more straight-laced and involved with heroes, from what Deku and others have been saying, Destro would not directly meet with Tenya Ida. He'd go through a few other people first before the two would have met. And Deku, he's getting back up off of his feet after his gut wound. And things have been going from there. Now, we do currently have the day the forest is supposed to be attacked for the forest training camp. And UA, they've actually been doing quite a bit. Because the students, they are on high security on campus, they are deemed safer. And UA, they've actually been trying to discover exactly what might be happening with the rumor of the students that have gone missing. They've searched about it, they've tried interviewing people, and nothing has come up. All evidence points to the villains having those students. They've been reported as missing by their parents. And that's about it. There's nothing else that they can really think of. Nothing makes sense to them. Now, we do currently have where Deku, he is training. Him leaping around the room and flying through the air, as multiple different people are using their quirks to attack him. Denki's blasting off his voltage, and there's actually Jiro who she's trying to attack Deku. Her using quick blasts of sound waves in certain directions. And Deku is actually able to dodge and avoid them the moment he does feel a shift in the air. As Todoroki, she does do one thing. She actually does go to put up a barrier of ice and block a path for Deku to fly through. Deku quickly spinning his body and shifting it as he does directly bounce off and onto the ice. Now, this is where Deku, he would do a few things. He fights his opponents and takes them down. As Todoroki, she's actually been trying to come to terms with a few things. And it's been kind of difficult for her. She's talked to Deku about her fire. And, well, there was the sports festival. She didn't use it then, and she lost to him. And then there's the idea that was in her head. She was in an actual combat scenario where firepower would have been good. Ice, you can only use it for so much stuff. You can freeze, you can create walls, potentially do a lot of things with it. But she hasn't progressed that far with that power yet. And even then, it doesn't feel right. Some part of her deep down is starting to come to terms with what may have happened in the past. And she knows that her fire, she may have to use it one day. However, she's just thinking, will that day be on Liberation Day? Or will that day be against her father? That's the idea that's coming inside of her mind. Will she have to fight one of her parents? The man who made her hate this power so much? And there actually is a few things going on with Deku. As the rest of the day does play out as routine, they train, they look through a few things, and some begin to do at least a few other things. Plan and scheme. As there is the night the forest is attacked, and many things do go quite different to canon. Now, All Might, he actually would have been here for this. Since UA students going off campus, yeah. Because of what happened to their previous students, they believe this is a good opportunity. If the villains do attack, they'll be prepared and they'll be ready. And that's exactly what does happen. All Might, he gets caught up fighting against Muscular, the two having a fight of pure power. And while the villains are on the move, there is the MLA. Thanks to Redestro calling in an associate from the underworld and paying them, he's actually gotten, let's just say, somebody in his pocket for now. And he is quite pleased with who they are. Now, things do start to play out similar to canon. All Might, he is there to take on Muscular. And Deku, or since Deku's not involved here, this is where students, they are kidnapped. All Might, he is able to fight Muscular and take him down using a 1,000,000% smash. However, he does burn through his time limit. And the villains, they do go on retreat. Now, thanks to Redestro and his people monitoring them, they would have actually been able to see on a satellite that All Might, he did buff down. And that they have his real face on file. They believe that right now would be the best opportunity to attack. However, that's not right. They need to wait and plan out more. And there is actually, whenever Deku, he does receive a phone call. Hello? Izuku, is this, well, safe to talk? Yes, it is. What's up? The camp was attacked. Was it? Are you guys okay? Yeah, we're fine. However, I have some information. We need to meet now. Okay, right. So what's up? Listen, we can't talk over the phone. I'm gonna break this one. Meet me at her saying a station name. Before bringing the phone down and breaking it in half. As she does go to leave. Now, this is where Deku, he does talk to a few people. And he does go to meet with Momo. As the two are currently standing somewhere. Deku in his disguise and Momo quite surprised to see him. Now, Deku, he does see Momo. And she's quite confused looking at him for a second before she realizes it's him. You're different. Yeah, I know, it's a disguise. So what's up? I placed a tracker on the Nomu. What? You're serious, aren't you? Yeah, I am. Now listen up. This Nomu, we don't know where it's headed to. But it's gotta go somewhere important. Her bring up her hand, talking about how this is a tracker she made. Deku reaching out and grabbing it. As she talks about how it may be larger than the one she gives the heroes. But for right now, they need this. and Deku, he does wave off Momo, as the two do part ways. Now, Deku, he does head back to the base, and he does inform Redestro about exactly what he's received. And Redestro, he's quite pleased. Their plan is going better than expected. They know the location of a villain base. This is perfect. Now, there is whenever they do actually look on the tablet and try and find exactly where it could be. Them being given a location and quite intrigued by it. As Deku, he does get some praise. Now, this would actually be where Deku, he does just try to think. The place that they're currently looking at, the place they're currently seeing on the map, is it the bar? Is it some facility they do have? What could it be? They wouldn't keep the Nomu in the same place they keep themselves, would they? These things aren't human. You could probably stockpile them in the dark, right? It's an inhuman army that doesn't need to sleep, doesn't need to eat, and, well, frankly, doesn't really need to think, right? You could just set them somewhere for months and just, hey, I need you to do this, right? It's an unthinking machine, basically. Now, all I can really say is for the next few days, things would align with the original canon. Students were taken, and the heroes are trying to discover exactly what could have happened. Meanwhile, All Might, he's actually trying to recover and gain back his strength. And this would be where things, they do go very similar. And let's just cut to the next night. Now, Deku, him and everyone, they're actually just waiting. They've learned from Momo that the heroes, they're already en route to take care of the villains. And this is all going very good. Redestro, he was waiting for this to happen. It was only a matter of time. The villains, they're about to be taken care of and wiped off of the map, and they'll no longer have to worry about them so much. Now, we actually do have Deku, who, he is worried. He knows for a fact that something's gone wrong with his parents, and he can't help but worry. Now, Deku, yeah. By the time the fighting did start, he was watching television. And him and Redestro, along with a few people, they were standing up in that ivory tower. And they were watching their plans play out. Now, this is actually where Deku, he does watch the scene currently play out. All Might and All For One are battling against one another, and they're both fighting. All Might, he's clearly trying a lot with his own power, and striking against the villains, as he goes blow for blow with All For One until he does reveal his tiny Might form. This being where the world is completely shocked. And Redestro does look in Deku's direction. As Deku, he actually just turns his head slightly to look towards him. And the man, he does give a slight nod. As Deku, he does go to stand up. Now, Deku, he just thinks, if he gets there now, he can at least try and find and look through the villain's base, look for any evidence of his parents. This being what he does think, he does walk over towards the window. And as he does open the window and the windows start blowing through Deku's hair, there actually is where he does hear someone shout. Deku quickly turning and looking back that direction, as there is on television, where the tiny All Might with a giant arm, something did happen. Something shot right past through the air and directly slammed itself directly into All Might's head, as All Might was sent flying through the air. Now, the news reporters, they do try to focus, as there actually is where something does fly in and directly grab the camera. people hearing the helicopter actually begin to start making sounds and, well, try and noise or vocalize a malfunction. And it's just loud beeping until the camera is sent flying through the air and everyone else they can see exactly what has happened. As the camera is just floating there, and a set of feet do land onto the ground. As it does then look up, and you do actually have where someone does walk over and quickly go to help all for one. Them actually grabbing hold of the helmet that does remain on his face and going to pull the rest of it off, before putting on a brand new one. And they do at least say the following words: "Sorry for the wait, sir." Now, Deku, he does hear that voice. As Deku's face, all the blood rushes out of it. And he does just stand there in horror. As there actually is with the camera, it does show the three. Deku feared his parents were killed. But this is worse. This is far worse. Deku's staring at the screen. He does see his mother and father. Both of them, they just don't look like themselves anymore. They look different. You can tell by the look on their faces and the expression in their eyes. They're cold. It's not right. And Deku, he does just turn and go to jump. As we just start to see Deku leap out the window as fast as he can go to take flight. Now, we do actually have where Deku, he does arrive. And by this time, all for one, he's already at least begun something. He's begun fighting off many of the pro heroes while others are trying to help All Might. Since he just got hit with a lot of power, and they believe that his skull might be fractured. Now, this is where Deku, whenever he does arrive, you'd actually have All for One, who he did look in the corner of his eye and see the boy flying overhead. Before quickly Deku, he does use his feathers to jump off of them at high speeds, flapping at the same time as he does come rushing in. The moment Deku does, he does go to actually swing his body downwards and smash his foot down into the ground as hard as he can, as All for One did step backwards and away from Deku. This being where Deku, he doesn't immediately go to leap forwards and directly smash two fists as hard as he can in All for One's chest. As All for One gets sent flying backwards, and Miruko and Hawks, they do directly turn to look towards Deku. Them seeing the young boy. As Deku does turn to both of them. "Mom! Dad!" "Who are you?" "What? It's me. I'm your son." "Son? We don't have a kid." You're wrong. I'm your son. You don't remember me? My sisters? You can't be serious." "Sisters? Kid, if we had children, we'd know about it. We don't. Besides, I doubt they look exactly like you. What are you anyways?" I have both of your quirks." Now, Miruko, she does leap off of her foot, rushing forwards, talking about how Deku, he does not. They have their own quirks. Now, Deku, he does rush forwards, as he does go towards his mother. The moment these two actually do meet with a solid strike kick, both of their legs, they do basically bounce off of each other, as Deku does actually go to swing and do the move his mom taught him, as she is going to do the exact same thing. Now, this is quite interesting. And Miruko, she can actually see something that's quite strange. Every time she goes to land a solid attack, or just move her body in a certain way, this kid goes to counter. The exact same way. And there actually is Hawks, whenever he did get involved himself. He tried to attack Deku, using his feathers, and actually trying to come in and slash Deku with blades, and even use long feathers to try and fly them and impale Deku. Deku actually going to use certain feathers and actually go to block certain attacks as he does bounce around the area he's made. Now, Deku's basically made an entire wall around them with feathers as he's bouncing in and around this area. Deku actually trying to smash directly into his dad. He does grab his dad by the shoulders. And the two, they do go flying through the feathers as Deku, he's actually still moving forward with momentum. Trying to shout at his dad that he has to remember him. He has to. As Hawk is going to bring up one of his hands, and Doki going to try and punch Deku across the face. But before trying to bring out the sword, Doki trying to slash Deku in his head. Deku being able to throw his head backwards and avoid most of the attack, as it does get Deku upwards and into the side of his face. Now, Deku, as soon as that did happen, he did actually go let go of his dad. As heroes, they do at least see the boy, and the spotlight gets put on Deku. As people can see that the UA student, he's alive. Now, you do actually have Mr. Aizawa, who was on scene along with many pro heroes. And there was Endeavor. They're all kind of confused. This guy just came out of the woodwork. He's still alive. He's been missing for almost a few months. And that's what has surprised them all. As Mr. Aizawa, he does see Deku and Deku try and shout exactly what is he doing here, and how. Deku looking towards Mr. Aizawa, as he does just try to think. This is too bad. Shit. Okay. I need to have at least a few ideas. Right now is not good. I have to hurry. I have to get out of here. Okay. Fly now. Fight later. Deku quickly going to turn and directly flap his wings as he does go off with his feathers. Mr. Aizawa actually going to turn off Deku's quirk as Deku's wings get caught mid-flap. And Deku actually does feel himself trying to move but they can't. As Deku, he does at least try to grab onto his wings with his hands and try to at least turn them and go to glide. Since he's falling with style. Anyways, now, you do actually have Hawks and Miruko, who they do actually come on scene. They do go to attack Deku. And Deku, yeah. He gets messed up quite a bit. The heroes try to intervene and stop the fight. As Deku, he's facing off against both of his parents, along with even the fact that pros are intervening. And many things go bad here. And the ensuing chaos, Kirigiri and All For One, they do a few things. They do retreat, along with whenever the heroes were able to take down Deku and the heroes in question that were attacking their child, the heroes were taken away. And all that was really left was Deku beaten into a bloody pulp. Now, Deku, he was actually taken in. And yeah, he was put under arrest. The fact was, the involvement with the MLA, him being alive does confirm it. Through all the evidence they did sort and look through, it was pretty clear Deku wasn't involved with the villains in no way. He wasn't captured, or nor was he brainwashed like his parents. And he has been missing. Along with that, there was actually even a few files that did actually show Deku's involvement. It was actual evidence to use against him. This is bad. Everything about this shows that a UA student is in league with an organization that might be more involved in the League of Villains. Now, with that being said, Deku, after being in the hospital whenever this evidence came out, was taken to Tartarus prison. And yeah, he was moved to the medical ward for the meantime. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And if any of you guys are curious to why this episode is sort of more fast-tracked, I have been trying to record this for probably a few hours. And now that I've finally been able to, I did just want to summarize, if you will, a little bit more about this series. Anyway, guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed it, however, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.